Hi everyone, it's Abby with the Bead Place and beadplace.net, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some fun, stretchy gemstone bracelets. All the materials we're using today can be found at beadplace.net, including the beautiful gemstone strands. We are going to need some chain nose pliers, a scrap piece of wire, some super glue, a variety of beads and charms, stretch cord, a bead stopper, a tape measure, and gemstones. I'm starting with 10 inches of Stretch Magic cord. You want to use the thickest size that will fit through your beads, and you want to pre-stretch it. Even if the elastic that you're using says you don't need to, you still want to pre-stretch it, and that will prevent your beads from sagging eventually on your thread. Next, we'll place a bead stopper on the end of our cord to prevent the beads from sliding off while we're working. Measuring your wrist will give you a good starting point for figuring out the size of your finished bracelet. However, keep in mind that the size of your beads will actually determine how large you need to make your bracelet. The larger the beads, the farther it'll sit out on your wrist, meaning that you'll need to make a longer bracelet. Figure out the pattern that you'd like for your finished bracelet. So even though the bracelet is a circle and has no beginning or end, we need to make sure that the first bead we string has a large enough hole to hide the knot that we're going to tie. So I'm choosing to start my bracelet with a bead cap. I'm going to first string the bead cap with the bell side facing my bead stopper. And then I'm going to string my design. When it comes to adding charms, instead of using one jump ring to add the charms, I like to use a few. That allows for more movement. When opening and closing a jump ring, I like to hold the jump ring so that the break is at 12 o'clock. I'll use 2 chain nose pliers, hold one straight up and down, and hold the other to the side, and open the jump ring in this direction. You want to make sure that you're always opening and closing your jump ring like this and never like this. That way you can get it closed back into its original position with no breaks that could slip off of the string. I prefer to start with a larger jump ring that will string on the bracelet itself. Then I use 2 smaller jump rings to attach the charm. The reason why I use 2 instead of 1 is so that the charm will hang in the correct direction. Attach one of the smaller jump rings to the charm. Then use the second smaller jump ring to attach the first smaller jump ring to the larger jump ring. Now this larger jump ring can be a closed jump ring or a very well shut open jump ring. String the jump ring onto the stretch cord just like you would a bead. Then continue stringing your design. When stringing stretch bracelets with a focal center and repeated gemstones throughout the rest of the bracelet, I find it's easiest to string the focal design first and then continue with gemstones until I've reached my desired length. That way, if changes in sizing need to be made, it's easier to take beads off the end than to alter your design. String until the bracelet fits your wrist properly. Even though my wrist measures approximately 5.5 inches, you can see that this bracelet measures over 6 inches. The size of your beads determines how large your finished bracelet should be. You can find a friend to help you measure, or if you're brave, you can give it a shot yourself. Hold the beads around your wrist until they meet. As long as the bracelet can move freely around your wrist and doesn't fall down too far on your hand, you should be fine for sizing. The next step is to tie the ends into a square knot. Remove the bead stopper from your bracelet. Take the right side of the bracelet, pass it over the left side, and under. Take the left side, pass it over the right side and under. This creates a square knot. The trick is to complete the square knot in the right spot. What I like to do is do the first pass of the knot and then pull my bracelet tight. You want to make sure you've got a little bit of tension in the bracelet itself. Then, once it's tight and I'm holding tension on the ends, I'm going to do the second part of the square knot. Notice how I'm using all of my fingers to hold it together. Then pull the ends very tight. The trick is to go into the bracelet and pull the strands going through the beads as well while you're pulling the ends, and that's going to lock the square knot in place. See how the knot is hidden on the inside of the cap? If you don't want to use a cap in your design, just make sure you're starting or finishing the design with a bead that has a large enough hole to accommodate the knot. After you've glued the knot, just push the bead over the top of the knot and it will glue itself to the inside of the bead. That way, when you stretch your bracelet out, the knot won't pop out and be unsightly. I like to use a piece of scrap wire to apply the glue to the knot. You can use a friend's help or use your fingers to spread apart the beads so that the knot is displayed, and then apply just a small amount of glue to the knot itself. Make sure you're using a jewelry super glue that won't dry rot your elastic. Once the knot has dried, you can trim the tail ends close to the knot and enjoy your finished bracelet. We have a multifaceted question for you this video. Get it? Get the pun? Anyway, what's your birthstone? And is your birthstone your favorite gemstone? If it's not, what is your favorite gemstone? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give us a big thumbs up. We really appreciate it. If you have a question or a comment or just want to say hey, you can drop a comment below. We put out new content, new tutorials, new videos all the time, so subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thanks for watching.